Let me tell you my rules for dating as a single mom of two who's been separated from a 7-year marriage for almost a year.
Date a single mother. Can you guys just be bold enough to not be like a liar, cheater, manipulator?
Someone said dating me is like buying a used car. I can't.
That reality can be hard to accept, but the truth is, most men don't want to play daddy.
But they were talking about me being used and abused because I have children, and kids are a liability.
I just so badly want a family, and I feel ridiculous sitting here in my car right now crying.
Most men do not want women with multiple.
Correct. Most men would rather start up their own family rather than continuing one. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
2 years ago, I was married. I have 2 kids. I never thought I would be back out here, single, dating. I would rather be on a season of Naked and Afraid through the wilderness with no clothes than try to navigate this dating.
My biggest fear is being a baby mama. Like, I can't. I'm gonna need a rock on my finger before you put a baby in my belly. Because I see it firsthand. Like, I just refuse to be a baby mama. No, we're having a baby. No, we're not.
Why are you trying to bash me for learning from my mistakes and trying not to repeat them? Nothing is more frustrating than when men start trying to devalue you because you're a single mom and now you have higher standards. It's like they want you to keep making the same mistakes. Like, it's like, okay, you think I want to do the same shit again? Like, why are you trying to bash me for learning from my mistakes and trying not to repeat them? It literally doesn't make sense, and it's actually really fucking annoying, but whatever. We're just in a sassy man apocalypse, and I'm learning to accept it.
I don't think anyone is trying to bash you, but it's just really unrealistic to suddenly raise your standards when you already have children. That's something that should have been done before choosing a partner. I've seen many modern women do this. They didn't have high standards for the man who got them pregnant, but once he leaves or things don't work out, they suddenly want to raise their standards for the next guy. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. No one is saying single mothers can't learn from their mistakes, but let's be real. Raising your standards after the fact doesn't change what's already happened. You're bringing more to the table in terms of responsibility, not value, yet you expect a better deal than what you accepted before. That's not how it works. A man looking at the situation is going to think, if you didn't have these high standards for the father of your child, why should I meet them now? It comes off as selective and unfair. Standards should be in place from the beginning, not as a reaction after making questionable choices.
Ouch! I think we need to go on some dates. And by we, I mean me and you and probably some dudes off Hinge. I don't know. I just got my heart completely wrecked with the first relationship since divorce. And people warned me that would be the case, like after divorce, like the first relationship gonna wreck you. And they were so right. Like, I've never been so down bad in my entire life. And I think right now, like, I just need to go on dates.
Okay, TikTok, help me out. Someone said dating me is like buying a used car. I can't undo that comment. So my question is, what kind of car am I and how many miles does it have? Let me give you a run back, okay? I have 4 kids. I am twice divorced by 28. It's giving Ultima. It's giving Toyota. It's giving Ford Focus. Is it a still? I can't. Is it what is it? A Mustang? Minivan? What is it? Because I can't.
Already a red flag for most men, to be honest. 4 kids and twice divorced at 28? That alone speaks volumes. What that says is that this woman likely has commitment issues and an unwillingness to make things work. Sure, we don't know what happened behind the scenes, But at the end of the day, results matter more than excuses. A track record of 2 failed marriages by 28 suggests a pattern, either poor decision-making, a lack of accountability, or a habit of running when things get tough. Most men looking for a serious relationship are going to see this and think, what are the chances that I'll be any different? No man wants to sign up to be the third husband, stepping into a situation where the odds are already stacked against him. It also raises the question, if 2 marriages didn't work, what's the common denominator? At some point, personal responsibility has to come into play. It's one thing to have had a failed relationship, but twice, with multiple kids involved. That's not just bad luck. It's a pattern of behavior, and most men won't want to gamble their future on it.
Stepdads are men that women wouldn't date if they didn't have kids. Let me read that again. Stepdads are men that women wouldn't date
if the women didn't have kids.
They didn't have kids.
Facts.
It's crazy.
Facts. Yeah, facts.
It's horrible.
That's techie.
Yeah.
That's facts, though.
I agree.
And I get it. There's men that prefer not to be with women with kids. Like, we get it. We hear you guys. We hear you loud and clear, okay? Nah, man don't want any woman with kids, you know? Don't want no woman with kids, you know? Like, any man that is so vocal about, I don't want a woman with kids. Why on earth would anyone want to be with someone like that? Why? Because it's just a horrible trait to have. Like, yes, have your preferences, but don't go and shout down a whole group of people in society and make them feel worthless about themselves just because you don't want to date one. Make it make sense.
I am finding that dating in this day and age is a lot like buying a used car. You find one that you think you like, it ticks all the boxes, and then after you drive it for a while, you realize it has that one really annoying feature that you just can't turn off, and you've got to deal with it every time you get in. Yeah, luckily cars are easy to trade in, just like boys.
This woman just said that boys are easy to trade in. Now, imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if men openly said the exact same thing about women. The backlash would be immediate and brutal. People would call it misogynistic, heartless, and dehumanizing. There would be outrage, think pieces, and social media storms condemning such a statement. But when a woman says it about men, suddenly it's brushed off, laughed at, or even defended.
To have a man is to settle. It's just because they're men. It's just the fact that they're men. To have a man is to settle. Like, they're not perfect beings. They're actually far from perfect. They're very imperfect. Women are more perfect than men. Like, I'm not even trying to get, like, political or anything.
Are you stupid?
Okay, this is a question for single mums that are dating. So hopefully TikTok does its thing. I'm genuinely interested. Do you prefer to date men with kids or men without kids? Let me know.
How old are you?
23.
Are you single?
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
I'm too young.
You're too young to have a man?
Yeah.
What gives you that impression?
I want to live life.
So you want to wait until you're how old before you settle down?
Maybe like 27.
You don't think by that point you'll be pushing 30, almost over the hill?
No.
Why not?
Because I think that's the perfect age to start like taking life serious.
So why go for the bad boys now and just give it to everybody?
Because I want to live life right now. I'm not taking anything serious.
And that doesn't hurt you in the long run?
No. I'm not saying I'm sleeping around. I'm saying I'm living life. There's a difference.
So do you see more than one guy at a time, or do you just,
Honestly, it's really hard for me to like go on dates just because like I'm an introvert. So if anything, I'm seeing the most 2 guys, 3 guys. That's pushing it, but 2 is good for me.
This is a mistake that many women make, just like this woman. When they're younger, they want to have fun, go to parties and live in the moment without thinking about the long-term consequences. And as she mentioned, she's giving it up to all the bad boys because she wants to have fun. But what she, and many others, fail to realize is that this kind of lifestyle has a price. Women like that often find it really hard to secure real love later on because by the time they're ready to settle down, they've developed habits that make it difficult to pair bond. They've spent years jumping from one man to the next, chasing excitement and temporary pleasure, instead of investing in something meaningful. And when that thrill wears off, they suddenly want a good, stable man to swoop in and commit to them unconditionally. But that's not how it works. Men can sense when a woman has been through too many fun phases, and for a lot of them, that's a deal breaker.
I hate to say it, because I don't like being on the men's side, but y'all, we do blame everything, all of our actions on men. Nothing is ever our fault.
Look how many single mothers we have having kids today. In 1940, it was 4%. In 1940, 96% of kids that were born, they had a mom and a dad married. Think about that stat. In 1940, 96% of any kid that was born to a mom and a dad married.
Wow. That's
96%. 96%.
I don't even want to know what is it now.
Only 4% in 1940.
You know what it is now, right?
40% are born to a single mom today. 40%. It went from 4 to 40%. This is a stat from the government. I'm not giving you anything that
can't be factual.
Actually verified right now. I'm going to text it to you right now. Okay.
Crazy.
When you see this 4% to 40%, once I show it to you and you see the numbers are right from the government, here's the question. What's the next question you and I want to ask when you hear a number like that? Why? Okay. So what caused it? Okay.
The hardest part about being chronically single is not knowing where you need to be. For me, I'm constantly battling. Am I even living in the right city? Do I need to move? Do I need to be somewhere else? Even when it comes to going out, I'm like, am I going to the right places? I need to be trying different places. Someone invites me out and I decide that I want to stay in. I'm tired. I almost feel guilty sometimes. Like, well, maybe if I would have went out this night, I would have met my future husband. I'm getting to the point where I'm 31. I'm going on 32. I enjoy my nights in, okay? I also enjoy having a small circle over a bunch of different acquaintances, but being single, I'm constantly like, okay, I need to meet new people because maybe new people will be friends with my future husband and that's how I'm gonna meet him. When you're chronically single, you almost don't have that moment and feeling of peace because you constantly feel like, okay, if I was doing XYZ, maybe, I would meet someone. The truth of the reality is I'm 31. I'm not gonna stay in every weekend and have my same 3 friends and end up meeting my person, right? I do believe that whatever's meant to be is going to be in your timing, but to put yourself out there, you do unfortunately need to sometimes put yourself in situations that maybe you don't want to be doing. Maybe you want to be on your couch instead. I mean, to be fair, one time I did have a friend that literally dated the guy that delivered pizza to us, but to be honest, I prefer a no contact delivery anyways. Does anyone else feel like this from time to time? Because it can literally be exhausting.
I can honestly say, this is how many women talk when they're ready to settle down at 30. And truthfully, there's nothing wrong with wanting a partner, but the reality is that trying to navigate the dating world at that age is much more difficult. Many women today say they're chronically single, they can't find men to date, or that the men they meet aren't serious about commitment. But the real question is, why? The answer is simple. The dating market is not the same for a 30-year-old woman as it was when she was 22. On top of that, men aren't blind to patterns. They see that many women suddenly want commitment after spending their prime years avoiding it. And for the men who have worked hard to build themselves up, the question becomes, why should they settle for a woman who only values them now that her other options are gone? A lot of these women end up frustrated, blaming men for their dating struggles, when in reality, they're facing the consequences of their own choices.
Okay, can I explain something? This is really, I'm going to be aggressive because nobody wants to hear this, because what you want me to say today is actually being a single mother is totally possible. It actually isn't. Do you know that? It was never meant to happen for the human race, number one. Number two, single biggest determiner of whether a mother is a good mother, what do you think it is? Whether they have a supportive partner. So the major argument for good dads is actually, can the dad be there for the mom? What you see is that if you've got a father figure, basically, who's supportive to the mother's energy goes towards the children. But the second that she doesn't have that supportive energy, she collapses, and then the kids get starved. So and we're not actually supposed to be living in a single family household, so it's supposed to be a lot more support towards mom than just dad. but I'm going with standard societal structure. You are a victim of a society that was never meant to work this way. You are not meant to, and no children are meant to actually grow up in a single family home, much less a broken home.
No one really talks about how hard it is when it seems like everyone around you is meeting their person and getting married and falling in love, and you just haven't ever. And I've always been the person that was completely fine with being single, and I still am, but I've been thinking about it a lot more. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. I'm 27 now, but I would love to get married one day and maybe be a mom and be in love, but I've just never had that. And I've never been with a guy that was husband material at all. So I've never really had the chance to even attempt like building a life with someone or being in love. And a few weeks ago I was at a concert and there was a couple sitting in front of me, and you could tell they were so genuinely in love, and it was beautiful. And I started crying because I had this realization that I've never experienced that. And will I ever get to experience that? Or will I be alone forever? Like, will I meet my person? And the thought of that really upsets me. Like the thought of being alone for the rest of my life. I don't even want to think about that. I like to have hope and believe that there is a good man out there for me. They're very hard to find, but I have faith that they're still out there. But it's just hard. Obviously, I'm happy for people that are in love. I think it's beautiful, but it's hard when you just know how much love you have to give and you just never had the opportunity to give it. Obviously, to my friends and family I do, but like romantically, I've never had the chance to truly show how much love I have in me because, like I said, I've never been with a guy that like showed love to me at all. So I've never had the chance to like show my love to someone. So I can only imagine that if I were to be with a man that truly loved me and treated me well and like we were just in love, I would do anything for them. Like I would probably walk to the end of the earth for them. So I want to do that. Like I want that so badly. Like I want to be in love and treat a man well and like, I don't know, just build a life with someone. I want that so badly.
If this is actually sincere, then this is great. That being said, what many women don't understand is that their person has probably already met them and they weren't interested. Not to say this applies to all women, but it does for a good number of them. When I see many women come online and talk about how everyone else is finding their lover while they remain single, it's likely because of the reason I mentioned before, or because they passed up the right guy when he was actually in their life. That being said, it's not completely impossible for good women to actually find the love they're searching for, but let's be honest, it's going to be extremely hard. Why? Because good men don't stay in the market for long. The reality is that high-value men who are responsible, loyal, and ready to commit, tend to get snatched up early by women who actually appreciate them. They're not sitting around waiting for women who spent years chasing the wrong guys to suddenly choose them. At the end of the day, while it's not impossible for a good woman to find a good man later in life, she has to acknowledge that the game is much tougher now.